What's going on, everyone? Jared Couture here. Thanks for checking out this video. So anyway, in this video I'm going to share what you can expect in our lessons as a Kung Fu music student, the flow of the lessons, and what I expect of you as the teacher. So first off, here's what to expect. In each lesson, we always follow the same format. Sometimes it changes a little bit, but essentially it's the same, and the format is the flow of the lesson, and I basically do them like you would do a Kung Fu class, a physical martial arts class, right? But essentially, we start with a little stretch of our hands, taking care of our hands, a little stretch. We focus on good technique in our warm-up, always. After the warm-up, don't have to think about it, just play. If you have good technique, you won't have to think when you play, it'll just work. So just in the warm-up, we think about it a bit, okay? Work on great technique. So stretch, technique. Then we always do a warm-up with rhythm, melody, and harmony, okay? Always doing that, and we're always using a metronome. So it's a requirement that if you're a guitarist, you need a guitar tuner, and no matter what instrument you are, you need a metronome. We're going to use a metronome in every class. Everybody in Kung Fu music lesson develops outstanding time, feel, groove, bam, sound great everywhere. Okay, so these 5 things are the foundation of our warm-up. Then we go into short forms and long forms. A short form is basically part of a song, like just the verse, just a little part, just a chord progression. And we experiment with the rhythms, melodies, and harmonies in a short form. Playing different solos, trying different ideas, playing different chords and versions, different rhythms, stuff like that. Experimenting. Then we take it up to long forms. And a long form is basically a whole song. So now we play our whole song. We experiment with the whole song, and we develop your repertoire, which is your song list. Okay, before we start performing at your Kung Fu concerts that we have basically every 10 weeks, if you're in the 3rd level and above. So that's the typical flow of a lesson. Stretch, technique, rhythm, melody, harmony, short form, long form. So right when we get into our lesson, be ready, okay, to turn your metronome on, bam, and blast through this stuff. And essentially those things are in order, the things in your curriculum. So look at the table of contents. Now as a Kung Fu music student, you're going to have a physical curriculum or a PDF, but you have an actual binder. And then you have video lessons as a resource to use, okay? And you have a warm-up video. Now, this warm-up video is very important. What I expect of you is to do the warm-up video and play with it at least 3 times a week, ideally 5 times a week or 6 days a week or every day. In the Shaolin Temple, which is, the inspiration of Kung Fu music lesson comes from Shaolin Kung Fu. These guys train 8 hours a day every single day. The word Kung Fu literally translates to mastery through time and effort. It essentially means practice. Kung Fu doesn't mean martial arts. You can have Kung Fu in anything you do, but you're not practicing your Kung Fu if you're not practicing. So I expect all my students to create in their lifestyle a habitual practice routine. So you must do at least a warm-up at least 3 times a week and actually use the warm-up videos I have on YouTube or Facebook or what other platforms. That's what I expect of you. You got to understand you're representing Kung Fu music lessons. You'll be an outstanding musician if you actually practice. Imagine if you practice or play once a week. 1 year later, think about how much you've expanded. Now imagine you practice 5 days a week. You're going to be at least 5 times better. That you have the potential to be at least 5 times better, right? So I am doing my daily Kung Fu, and I created in my lifestyle, and I expect all of my students to as well. If that's too overwhelming for you, then another music lesson program is for you. But if that excites you and you're excited to get really good, then be in this program, because all of the students in here progress very fast because I have all those resources available for you, and everybody practices knowing the whole foundation of this program is about doing your Kung Fu. Okay? So I expect that of you. So again, resources, You need a tuner and a metronome, okay? In our lessons, we're always going to run through the same format, so be ready for that. And we'll always do different things, and a lot of things. But essentially, we run through the same format to get you there, because having a structure is really helpful for expansion. It works really, really well, okay? So just know that's going to happen. So it's never like, oh, what do we do today? And confused, and then we figure it out. Like, I ask you what you want to do, and if you have special questions every single time, and with that, I add in. So you say, I really want to do this way. Okay, cool. And then I figure out, all right, I'm going to add that in this way. So I'll add it into the flow every time. Make sure you get exactly what you want, but we keep that flow. All right? So basically, that's it. There's a structure to how we do our lessons. It works out well. I expect you to actually practice at least 3 times a week with the warm-up video. 5 times is ideal, but that's only the halfway. Half of it is practice, half of it, or more than half, is play. That's the yin-yang, yin-yang. Okay, so practice for a bit. Do warm-up every day if you can, at least 3 times a week, minimum. And then play and jam, experiment, and have fun. And don't think, be creative, have a blast. With that recipe, you will succeed very fast, okay? So if you can do that, jump in here. Otherwise, for example, for payments, pay the first of the month, each month, for the full month. You're not guaranteed a makeup if you cancel on the day of. If you're days in advance and you need to reschedule, I can give you options for what else is available, and we can try to do that. Otherwise, if you cancel on the day of or just don't show up, you lose the lesson. There's no guarantee to remake it. We don't roll over lessons. We have a very tight schedule. So your time is your time. And I'm committed to being there for you, and I want you to be committed to being there as well. And we're going to have a blast together, okay? So that's standard in music lessons anywhere, for the most part, in a school. So that's the main stuff. So we have a flow, and I expect you to practice. That ensures that you are amazing. You become amazing. You know, you blossom into your greatest self. And then we're actually practicing our Kung Fu. So that's the main stuff to be aware of right now. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, make sure you have a tuner and a metronome, and be ready to flow through the process of stretch, technique, rhythm, melody, harmony, short form, long form in our lessons. That's how we're going to do the flow. And I guess that's it for now. So thanks so much for watching this. Much appreciated. Much respect to you. And I can't wait to start working with you. So be seeing you very soon. Ciao.